right, y'all. Welcome to episode 7 of Behind the Soul as told by home buyers. And today I have my girl here with me today. I have my girl Kennesha and then my other girl Kayla here today as my co-host. She's going to be helping us ask and answer some questions because she was also there for our home buying journey and provided her opinion for the journey. So we definitely want to hear from you today, honey. So, Kennesha, thank you for agreeing to do this with me.
You're welcome.
We definitely had a time.
Yes, we did.
During your home buying
It was.
process. We were buying during the pandemic,
Yes.
which was a very, very interesting time in real estate.
When it first started.
When it first started in 2020.
Yes.
So you have a very unique story that we want to share. So let's just start off with just the basic first question I ask all guests. And that is, how did you decide that you wanted to be a homeowner?
It's really crazy. So it was always a thought to be a homeowner. But before buying a home, I stayed in a townhouse. And things started messing up. Walls started sparking. The refrigerator went out, washer and dryer, and I was like, okay, God, I hear you. I reached out maybe a year prior to buying a home, and you told me everything I needed to do. And then stuff just started going haywire. Like, I had to call the fire department. And I'm like, okay, God, I hear you. Like, you say it's time. Like, it's time. I heard, like, literally, like, everything started messing up. I think it was like a snowstorm because I probably reached out to you in like March, April. No,
I don't remember. I think it was more like October. It was more. I thought it was the end of the year, maybe.
It possibly was the end of the year, but I think that like upcoming January, like everything, like the heat stopped working. I think it was like the pipes was frozen. I was like, God, I heard you. Okay, you don't got to do nothing else in this house that's gonna stress me out. I heard you. Like, and then
it's time to move on. Yeah, because you ever heard the saying that when God wants you to move, He'll make everything around you uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
So you might have been dragging your feet for a little bit.
I was,
and God was like, it's time to go on out there.
And then it was so crazy because like with the walls, and I called the fire department. It was like, we don't see anything, but like I can hear it inside the wall, like tick tick tick, like a ticking, and I'm like feeling the wall because they say some fires start in walls. So I'm feeling the wall. I'm hearing the sound. Then nothing is plugged up. I was like, oh, okay, don't worry, I'm about to move.
Okay. So what did you have to work on, I guess, during that time frame to get ready to purchase?
Well, really, I didn't have much to work on because, with me reaching out to you prior to like the year, so I had already kind of got everything in order.
Okay.
So my credit score was already in order. The money was already saved.
Yes.
So, I mean,
just you.
Yeah, like everything was already in order. Like the money was there, the credit score was there, everything that was needed for me to sign and close was already in place. So I really didn't have to do much.
Okay. And so then once we reached out, we said, okay, let's get started. We reached out. Well, you told me you had a lender that you had already spoke to. So tell us a little bit about your process with applying for a mortgage.
So with the process with applying, I think before I went with who I went with, I don't know if we can say her name.
If you want to plug her, you can.
Sariva, please reach out to her. She's the best.
Sariva.
I think I reached out to maybe 2 lenders in the bank before going with her.
Okay.
So everybody was giving me like really like crazy numbers, but I knew what I wanted because like one person gave me one number, another one gave me this number, the bank gave me the lowest number. So a friend of mine actually told me about Sariva.
Okay.
That's when I went with her, and she was just like head on. She gave me like a really good vibe, and she was what I was looking for. So that's how I ended up with her.
Okay. And I'm glad you mentioned something. You said that you shopped around. So it is important to make sure that you are shopping around for your mortgages. You don't have to go with the very first lender who gives you a pre-approval.
No.
You can shop around because different lenders, like you mentioned, can give you different pre-approval amounts,
Right.
different interest rates. They have different programs. So that's very important
Yeah, it
that you
was
shop
for me
around.
definitely because, like I said, I knew what I wanted
Mm-hmm.
and I knew my limits. Like I wasn't going over a certain dollar amount. I knew everything was already in place. So I just needed to find who was going to give it to me.
Right.
So
Okay. And so with choosing your loan, you went with the FHA, first time home buyer loan.
mhm.
A lot of people want to know about these first time home buyer programs. So
Whew.
did you get approved for the first time home buyer program, or did you decide to go another route?
um, I believe I got approved.
Okay.
I did get approved, but it's a lot of stipulations.
Yes.
So if you're not up for the stipulations, if you're not
Mm-hmm.
willing to abide by them, then I will tell whomever don't go that route
Okay.
because it's I would say go with what suits for you because
Okay.
everything is not for
Mm-hmm.
everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So with me, I did do the first time home buyer loan. Um, it works for me,
Yes.
so I
Okay.
feel like that's good.
And I'm glad you said that too, because all my guests have said the same thing about the first time home buyer program, about the stipulations and
Yes,
having to be okay with the stipulations for the first time home buyer program. So again, it is available. They are out there, but you
they
just have
are.
to make sure that that program fits your needs. So
Yes, because before even doing the first time home buyers, we were looking at the different cities because
mhm.
cities offer different programs and different money and things of that nature too.
Right.
So, definitely just do your homework or just bother Marquita like I did because I bothered her a whole lot.
Well, that's what I'm here for. So I don't mind. So once we got the pre-approval, we had the okay to start looking.
That was the process.
That was a process, because again, we was purchasing during a pandemic. There were a lot of buyers in the market during that time. This is again was
Yes,
2020.
right.
There was a lot of competition, and inventory was really really low.
Right.
So
And it was really, really bad and it was really, really discouraging.
mhm.
But I kept pushing
Yes, absolutely.
because I
Absolutely.
was over it. I was over it. Like,
How many offers did, if you remember, how many offers did we put in before we got to one that was accepted?
I don't remember the exact number. I would say between at least like 6 and 10.
6 and 10. Oh
Yeah.
God.
It was the house in Suffolk.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
It was the house on, around the corner from me.
Mhm.
Um, it was a few.
Yeah.
It was definitely a few. Like, it was a lot.
So how did you stay encouraged during that time? Because like you said,
You,
you was ready.
I'm being a totally
Because you said you was
you,
ready to give up, and I can understand. But
it,
how did you stay like I'm gonna get through this?
you.
Oh, okay.
I
Oh,
mean, because it's like to have your mindset on something and to
mhm.
be like, and this is my first time, so
Yes.
I was new to the process. So it's like we go put in an offer for a certain amount, and somebody go put in something $30,000 more, and you
Yes,
like,
that
well,
was happening.
dang,
It was
like
happening.
let me live a little, and
Mhm.
it's like. Even when I call you, I'm like, look, I think I'm gonna just wait. You like, no, this is my job. Just let me
Mhm.
do it. The
Mhm.
encouraging words that just like, okay, Kennesha, like this is it's gonna happen.
Mhm.
Because other than that, yeah, I probably wouldn't even call another person back. Like, I would have been like, okay, y'all can have it.
Mhm.
It was very overwhelming. It was very
Mhm.
discouraging. But it's
Mhm.
like if this is what I wanted. So
Right.
with dealing with you and you doing your job very well.
Thank you.
It got me here.
Yeah. So thank you for those kind words. Like again, that is my job, and I always tell people like I do this all the time. So it's sometimes it's
Yeah.
hard for people to be as optimistic as me because it's like they don't. This is your
Yeah.
first time.
Right.
But because I've been through it, I've seen it, I already know what to expect. Okay, so again, we have Miss Kayla along for the journey. I love when people bring their children along for this process. I do, because it teaches them about home ownership at an early age, teaching them the importance of home ownership. So, Miss Kayla, when we were going and looking at different houses, how was that experience for you?
Well, it was good. It was good, but at the same time, it was a little bit of a lot of work. Because half the times I was tired, I bothered, and I was irritated. But it was fun. I liked
Okay.
it.
Okay. So when we got to this house, did you know that this was going to be your home? Or how did you feel when you came in here?
When I came here, I was like, this the one. It's what we're looking for.
Uh-huh.
But something in my head just told me Kayla is not gonna pick this house. But then something on the other side of my head was like, Kayla, this is the right one. That's how I thought this was like the right house, and I like it now because I have my own room, it's spacious. I have a
Okay.
lot of stuff.
So we can say that you like your room in
Yes.
here and you spend a lot of time in your room.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you, Miss Kayla, for giving us your feedback on the process. We heard from Miss Kayla about her experience with the home search, and we heard from your experience regarding the home search being overwhelming. But when we got to this one,
Yeah.
we did have a little bit of some competition.
Yeah. This particular house was different
Mm-hmm.
because we went to several houses.
Yes.
So when we came here, it had everything that I wanted. And then when we came back, and my aunt stood on the front porch and she prayed.
Yes.
And she was just like, this is her house, she was just praying and praying. She even tried to take the sign out the yard. You remember?
Yes.
She
We was
took
outside getting bit up by
yeah, she was
mosquitoes.
taking the sign out the yard. I think it was the brochures in the mailbox or
Mm-hmm.
something.
Mm-hmm.
She took all of them and she was like, this is your house. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess her prayer worked.
Yes, prayer
Prayer changed
works.
things.
Prayer works.
It worked. She stood on the front porch and she prayed. So
And we did have to negotiate some things with this property
yes.
to get it. But everything still worked out because we still got it within your price
Yeah,
range.
and this house almost stressed me out too.
What are you talking about? Tell them.